First of all, I want to thank you for providing input in my survey. So what I found out was that the majority of my audience owns a bike. And for those of you that have children, they own bikes as well. And for those of you that don't have children, there's a possibility that you will buy them a bike. There's only one person in the room, I won't mention any names, that said, no, I don't have a bike, and probably that doesn't want a bike. I won't mention any names though. So that was helpful information. I love the fact that I got to know you a little bit more. There was even some additional information that I received from Thong that he still owns a bike in his country, and just it's amazing how much they depend on their bicycles in his country, and that's your country is in Vietnam. Correct. Thank you. Okay, so I will get started.
Maybe not.
Get on the side. Something's
There it goes.
okay. So there's two things that I want to share with you. It's the bike and the helmet. To me, those are the important things before you jump on the bike. So what I want to share with you about the bicycle is called the ABC Quick Check. The first one is for air. To me, it's very important for my bike tires to have the required air pressure, simply because if they're fully aired, then I can ride faster. There's also other benefits of making sure that your tires have enough air. B is for brakes. Please, before you jump on the bike, make sure that your brakes work properly. You don't want to find out after the fact. C is for chain. Make sure that your chain is in good working conditions. Sometimes if it's too loose, it'll tend to fall off. Does anybody know what the cassette is on the bike? This might be...
Plays music?
Some bikes do.
Why I don't own a bike.
But the cassette is basically where the chain attaches on the back part of the bike. Quick is for quick releases. This means that some of your fancier bikes, you can easily remove the tires. So if you have a bicycle that has this option, make sure that when you do put the tires back on, that it's clamped on securely. The next one is check. Check to make sure that your bicycle seat is at the right height. If you ride your bike and you notice that your knees are way up here, that's a sign that you need to raise the seat. So that's very important because that can also cause knee injuries. And I have good news. If all of this information is overwhelming, the good news is that you can check with the bike store wherever you purchase your bike. Sometimes they offer free tune-ups, free inspections, and they also fix flats for free. So make sure that you take advantage of that. The next one is the helmets, what I call helmet smart. And the middle picture is the right way to wear a helmet. If you notice in the first picture, the straps are loose and the helmet doesn't cover the front part of the forehead. So you want to make sure that you cover the top of your forehead. You want to make sure that it fits snugly and comfortable and it doesn't move side to side. So this is how you check. If you can wiggle it side to side or back to front, that's a sign that you need to tighten it up. Now, what I usually do if I'm checking for helmet, if I come up to you and I gently push the front part of your helmet and it easily goes back, that's a sign that it needs to be adjusted. For me, when I put my helmet on, it fits slightly uncomfortable, so that's a sign for me that it's on properly. And I'll just get used to that feeling of being just a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, so now that I've shared with you the two important parts, I want to share with you the laws. In most states, a bicycle is considered a vehicle. So what does that mean? That you must obey all traffic signs. So if you come to a red light and stop signs, stop. Now, there's some officers that will stop you if they see you run a red light and you're on a bicycle. So make sure that you obey the traffic laws. Sign before you move. Let the person behind you know what you're doing. Right turn. And keep your hands on the handlebar. This is law. You must have at least one hand on the handlebar at all times. Your responsibility is to ride with your head up and always look at your surroundings. You want to know what's in front of you and what's on the sides. Maintain control and speed. Don't go and take a 100-mile bike ride if you're a beginner. So you have to know your limitations. And adjust to your safety zone. If it's raining, be prepared. And always let somebody know where you're going. Have some type of emergency contact information. These are some specific situations that you can run into. Cars can be scary. Again, be aware of your surroundings. If I come to an intersection and I see that a car is not going to stop, I can quickly jump off my bike because I have the skills. My life is not replaceable, but the bike is. Beware of animals. This one, if you're riding out in the country, sometimes you may run into animals out there, dogs. Have a plan, know what to do. You have to know what to tell them. Go away. You can use your bike as a barrier if you can't outspring the dog. Pedestrians and joggers, if you're riding on a trail, they have the right of way. Slow down because you're not sure what they're going to do. If they're going to walk over to your lane or not, so be aware of that as well. And with that said, this weekend I went jogging for an hour and I did a quick assessment on the bike riders. There was 10 of them with no helmets. The majority of them did not have their helmet on properly. The little rings that belong right under the ear were way down here. The flaps were just loose. So like I said, that was the majority of the riders. So there's two things that I want you to take away from this presentation. Make sure that your bike is in good conditions and make sure that you wear your helmet on properly. So think about this. If you're on your bike and your brakes fail, what can happen? If you fall and your helmet is not on properly, what can happen? Mr. Toastmaster.